Welcome to Have More Babies. Today, we're getting into a topic lots of parents think about, getting their kids' ears pierced.
Mhm.
And you, our listener, you're someone who likes to be really informed, right? Making the best choices for your family. So we're going deeper than just, the fashion side of things.
That's right. We're looking at the safety, the care involved, especially when it comes to kids.
Yeah, because ear piercing, it might seem pretty straightforward, maybe just cosmetic today.
But it actually has this long history, different cultures, different times.
Mm.
It meant a lot of things.
Like what sort of things?
Oh, social status, wealth.
Mm.
Sometimes it was linked to like healing ideas or
Yeah.
marking big life moments, rites of passage.
Wow, okay. So not just looking cool.
Definitely not. And
Yeah.
even, more recently, think about the 1920s styles or how big it was in the 70s counterculture.
Yeah.
It keeps evolving.
Fascinating. But okay, bringing it back to today and specifically kids.
Right. When children are involved, the whole conversation shifts, doesn't it? It has to be
Mhm.
about their safety, their well-being, first and foremost.
Absolutely. Which leads us to the main point, I guess.
Exactly. Why choosing a professional, often a pediatrician,
Hmm.
for what we call medical ear piercing? Why that's such a significant decision.
Okay, so let's really unpack that. What is it about medical ear piercing that makes it the recommended route for children?
Well, the fundamental thing is prioritizing the child's safety and comfort. That's the absolute core.
Right.
And medical ear piercing, usually done by a pediatrician, is designed around that. So when you're deciding who should do this for your child, there are some really key things to look for in that pediatrician.
Okay, what should parents be focusing on then? What are the critical factors?
First off, definitely their experience and expertise. You really want someone who's done this procedure like many times
Makes sense.
and who deeply understand the child's ear anatomy, knows the right techniques, and importantly can answer all your questions. Put your mind at ease.
You need that confidence in them for sure. What else?
Reputation. It's a big one.
Hmm.
Ask around.
Mhm.
Friends, family, maybe your regular doctor for recommendations,
Mm-hmm.
and check online reviews too. They can give you a good feel for other parents' experiences. A good rep usually means good care, trustworthy.
So do your homework on the person. What about the place itself? The clinic?
Oh, absolutely crucial. The facilities, the equipment, it all matters hugely.
So.
You need to be certain they use sterile equipment.
Yeah.
That's non-negotiable. And that they follow strict infection control rules.
Right.
The whole environment needs to be clean, well-maintained. It just minimizes risks, makes it safer, more comfortable for your child.
Okay, so let's say you've done the research, you found a pediatrician you trust. What's next? How do you prepare your child for the actual piercing?
Good question. Preparation can really help things go smoothly. First, obviously, is choosing that reputable certified medical pro we just talked about, someone
Yeah.
used to working with kids.
Done that then?
Then you need to follow any instructions they give you before the appointment. Might be about medications or just making sure the child's well rested.
Okay.
And maybe even more critical is being ready to follow the aftercare instructions very carefully.
Ah, yes, the part after you leave the office.
Exactly. The pediatrician will tell you exactly how often to clean the piercings, what products to use. Sticking to that is so important for proper healing, preventing problems.
So it's a commitment beyond just the appointment itself.
Definitely. And the third thing is, well, just being there for your child.
Mm.
Parental support.
How does that help?
Well, it's a new feeling, right?
Mhm.
Some kids might be a bit nervous or scared. Your job is to be calm, reassuring, hold their hand, maybe bring a favorite toy as a distraction.
Yeah.
It can make a real difference.
So it's kind of a team effort, parent and professional.
Precisely.
Now, what are the specific upsides? Why choose this medical route over, say, going to a mall kiosk or using a piercing gun somewhere else?
There are some really clear advantages. One is precision. Medical piercing often means more accurate placement.
Okay, better positioning.
Yes. Second, the experience itself. Many parents find it's practically painless for their kids because of the techniques and equipment used.
Less stressful for the child then.
Much less. And the biggest one really is safety. It's just inherently safer.
Why exactly?
Because it's done in a sterile medical setting by someone trained in hygiene and anatomy, this drastically cuts down the risk of infection or getting uneven piercings.
Those all sound like very strong points in favor.
Oh.
And is this just for kids? Our source mentioned adults too.
That's correct. Yeah, while we're focusing on children today, adults can absolutely benefit too. If an adult wants a really safe, precise piercing, going to a medical professional is a great option for them as well.
Good to know. But even with all these benefits, things can still sometimes go wrong, right? Are there potential complications parents should know about?
It's always good to be aware, yes. Even in a medical setting, though the risk is much lower, complications aren't completely impossible.
Like what?
Infection is probably the main concern with any piercing. Bacteria gets in, you might see redness, swelling, pain, maybe some discharge,
Mm.
even a fever sometimes.
And how could that happen if it's done professionally?
Well, bacteria could be introduced after the piercing, maybe from touching it with unclean hands or if the aftercare isn't followed properly.
Ah, so the follow-up is key there too.
Crucial. Allergic reactions are another possibility. Nickel allergy is pretty common, and nickel is in a lot of jewelry.
So that first pair of earrings needs to be hypoallergenic.
Absolutely
Friendly.
essential, especially while it's healing.
Right.
Then there are keloids.
One of those exactly.
They're like raised scars. Excess scar tissue builds up at the piercing site. Some people are more prone to them, particularly individuals with darker skin tones.
Okay. Anything else?
Very rarely, you could worry about bloodborne infections if, hypothetically, non-sterile methods were used. But
Right.
again, super low risk with a medical professional. And maybe minor nerve irritation, scarring, or trauma if it wasn't done quite right, which, just circles back to why choosing an experienced medical expert is so important.
It really does highlight that initial choice. Okay, so piercing done, looks good. What's the absolute must-know aftercare advice for our listeners?
Right, the practical stuff. Aftercare is vital. Number one, keep hands off. Avoid touching the piercing site unless you've just washed your hands thoroughly.
Okay, hands off. I got it.
Also, generally best to avoid swimming pools, hot tubs, lakes, basically submerging the piercing for the first few weeks while it heals.
Right. Avoid soaking it. What about cleaning?
Cleaning is key. A saline solution is usually recommended. You can buy sterile saline or make your own.
How do you make it?
It's simple. About a teaspoon of non-iodized salt, important it's non-iodized, dissolved in about 8 ounces or a cup of warm water.
Okay, and then?
Soak a clean cotton ball or pad in the saline and gently clean around the front and back of the piercing. Get rid of any crusties. And gently rotating the earring, just a couple of times a day during cleaning, can help stop it from sticking.
How often should you do this cleaning?
Typically 2 or maybe 3 times a day is standard. But always, always follow the specific instructions your pediatrician gives you. They know best for your child.
Right, follow their advice. And what about changing the earrings? Everyone wants to put in cute ones eventually.
Patience is key here. You really need to wait at least 6 weeks. Sometimes longer, depending on how the healing is going and what the doctor advised.
6 weeks minimum. Why wait?
Changing them too early can really irritate the new piercing, reopen the wound slightly, and up the risk of infection. When you do change them, make sure the new ones are clean and hypoallergenic too.
Good point. And what if you do see signs of trouble, like infection?
Don't wait.
Yeah.
If you see increased redness, more swelling than expected, persistent pain, or any discharge that looks yellowish or greenish, contact your pediatrician right away. Prompt treatment is important.
That's really clear, practical advice. So let's just quickly recap the main advantages of going the medical route for kids' ear piercing.
Sure. It really boils down to enhanced safety because of the sterile setting and the medical knowledge, better precision, getting the placement just right, and a much lower risk of those complications like infection or wonky piercings.
Yeah.
Choosing that experienced medical professional is step one, and then diligent aftercare at home is step two for success.
Excellent summary. Now, for listeners who want to dive deeper, find more detailed info, or look into these services, where should they go?
We absolutely recommend checking out Omega Pediatrics' website. It's omegapediatrics.com.
OmegaPediatrics.com. Okay.
Yes, they have a ton of great information on pediatric care generally, and specifically about their safe, comfortable ear piercing services for babies and kids. It's all done by experienced, certified professionals there.
That sounds like a fantastic resource. So definitely visit omegapediatrics.com if you're considering this. And hey, if you found this chat helpful today, could you do us a quick favor? Please hit the like button on this video.
Yeah, that helps others find it.
And subscribe in the channel. We'll have more useful discussions like this one.
Definitely subscribe.
And finally, share this video. If you know other parents, caregivers, anyone who might be thinking about ear piercing for their child, pass this along.
Spread the word. Good information helps everyone make better choices.
Absolutely. We really just want to help empower you, the listener, to feel confident in the decisions you make for your family's health and well-being.
Well said. Knowledge is power, as they say.
Thanks so much for joining us today on Have More Babies.
Goodbye, everyone.